Once upon a time. In a mystical land far away, oh forget it. In the beginning there were 2 INFJs. Now look how many there are. Millions. Here is the story of the rise and fall of the Myers Briggs Personality Type called the INFJ. And why they are back again making interesting and downright weird videos on YouTube. Please note this video contains adult content and is intended for mature audiences only. Actually it doesn't. I just love saying that. It completely freaks out politically correct people. Now let's have some fun. The first evidence that INFJs existed appears in a 5,000-year-old story called the Epic of Gilgamesh. King Gilgamesh is generally ACRR edited for creating the first city on Earth called Uruk, which is now modern-day Baghdad. Sometime during the rise of the Sumerian Empire, a few heathen monks and worshippers of the god Kaluthu, generally referenced as the god of killer calamari, broke into several libraries across Mesopotamia and destroyed any cuneiform tablets which gave reference to INFJs. Apparently, they were more frightened of this MBTI group than the gods they worshipped. However, in 1946, shortly after the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls in Israel, a partially intact document was found giving a second reference to INFJs in the ancient world. The British Museum translation of these ancient documents by Dr. Gilbert Percy, who published in a book in 1914 called The Babylonians, Assyrians, and Anunnaki, clearly states INFJs descended from the stars in chariots of fire and did breadth with mankind, much to the dismay of everyone concerned. In the Proto-Sumerian language this phrase has a different meaning, however. Oh crap. Here come those annoying people again. For several thousand years INFJs completely disappeared from recorded history. It was believed they had finally gone extinct. Until the early 1500s, when Spanish conquistadors began exploring South America and encountered a group of northern Colombia indigenous people called the Tyrona. The Tyrona civilization, unlike their counterparts the Maya and Aztecs, did not construct massive cities nor citadels in honor of their deities. They were agrarian people who worshipped corn. According to observations taken by Francian monks who accompanied the Spanish conquistadors, one wrote, "The Tyrona were a peaceful race who enjoyed consuming highly intoxicating foods called coffee, cocaine, tobacco, potato liquor and popcorn. Since they possessed no gold or valuable objects which the Spanish eagerly sought, the Tyronia were left alone in relative peace. Until hundreds of years later, when Simon Bolivar encountered them and 80% of their population suddenly dropped dead from smallpox and syphilis. The last known king of the Tyrona civilization, who died in 1724, was quoted as saying, "Cursed be whomever smokes the tobacco plant. White people suck." Unfortunately, INFJ references stopped there. It was only during the first half of the 20th century did 4 distinguished psychologists named Sigmund Freud, Carl Jung and those ladies, who developed a personality test called the Myers Briggs Personality Type indicator, brought INFJs back into the spotlight once again. Although the early applications of the MBTI test were not entirely embraced by the mental health industry, primarily because Dr. Carl Jung was an acknowledged sadomasochistic who enjoyed indecent pleasures with his clients, namely a woman called Sabina Spielrein. In one of Carl Jung's lesser-known books called Spank Me Daddy, Spank Me Hard, Jung briefly mentions the creation of the MBTI and a personality type referred to as INFJs. Upon completion of our research, there remained an odd personality group whom we were unable to completely understand and thereafter named them INFJ. We assumed this personality type, who only represented 1% of everyone on Earth population, would be completely ignored or go extinct. Ironically, the exact opposite happened. In recent times there has been an explosion of INFJs popping up all around the world. The exact reason for this phenomenon is largely unknown. The last time an increase in INFJs was documented was during the Renaissance, Industrial Revolution and the invention of the Twix candy bar. It is only logical to assume from past history when INFJs start to appear, something extremely bad is going to occur. Readers must ask themselves what horrific event is quickly approaching which would require millions of INFJs again. Better yet, why have INFJs infiltrated YouTube and Twitter saying, "We're back"? There can only be a few explanations for this phenomenon. 1. The Earth is about to be invaded by extraterrestrial alien-human hybrids. 2. A massive plague like the Black Death which killed off 75% of Europeans during the Middle Ages is beginning again. And 3. Artificially intelligent computers are about to become self-aware and scare the shit out of everyone. And now for something completely different. What are the first words an INFJ newborn says after birth? "I really hate reincarnation." How do you test if someone is an INFJ? Tie stones around the feet of an INFJ and throw them into a river. If they float, they are an INFJ. If they sink, they are an INFJ. This also works for identifying witches. The devil suddenly appears in front of an INFJ. Everyone runs away screaming in horror. The devil says, "Behold, I am the prince of evil." The INFJ simple laughs. The devil scratches his head saying, "You are not frightened of me." The INFJ responds, "Of course not. I married your sister. Why did the chicken cross the road? Who cares?" What happens when two INFJs door slam one another? They both run away screaming hysterically. A dark INFJ always seeks self-glorification, approval from strangers and possesses strong narcissistic personality traits. The average INFJ is compassionate, sincere and empathic towards the plight of others. Until you annoy them and they go, Pennywise the clown, on your ass. If you enjoyed this essay, please press a YouTube button. I'm not really sure what button. So press 'em all. Better safe than sorry.
Thank you for being with us to the end. You can be anywhere in the world now and you chose to stay with us, we truly appreciate it.